America. This is my second video I'm putting out. I'm going to see the picture of the cowardly lion. That's how the churches are in America right now. So I want you to listen to this video. First of all, I'm going to get into the Constitution and how 15,700 Christians fought the British, with the Polish helping us and the French, against tyranny, against the King of England. 700 British troops surrounded 450 militia men, and they were ordered out of the church, and they came out of the church, but they came out of the church with their weapons. And the British said to them, "You will lay your weapons down today, and you're free to go back into your church and worship. And you're free to go home to your family." But they chose to said no. Now there are 700 British troops with their guns facing the militia. Then they order them a second time. "Put your weapons down. There will not be given a third order. You're free to go back into your church, and you're free to worship, and you're free to go home to your family. But you will lay your weapons down. This is the last warning." Some say the British fired first. Some say the Christians fired first. But it was all Christians that fought. Pastors in the congregation, only 3% of America fought the British. The French helped us against the fleets of the British, and the Polish helped us with troops. George Washington led men in the coldest weather, in the coldest conditions, to fight against a standing army for independence. And this is when God is with a certain person. Why didn't they just lay their weapons down like the church would today? Put their weapons down and go back. They'd go back in the church. Go, because we're supposed to obey the government instead of God. No. If God speaks to you, don't do what the devil wants you to do. Make the right decision. Stand behind Donald Trump. Where are the churches preaching to their congregation to get their butt out of their pew, their ass out of the pew, actually, and knock on some doors for Donald Trump? Stand behind him at some of his rallies. Let him know you're supporting him. Speak to your congregation about him. He is for America. Joe Biden is for mass abortion, mass immigration, putting migrants over American citizens, not stopping crime. The spending is reckless. We're going to crash our currency. It's going to crash. So this is serious stuff. All right. I'm going to watch your second video.
If I were the Prince of Darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of the serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, "Do as you please." To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, "Our Father, which art in Washington."
Okay. This is the 1954. Lyndon B. Johnson said, how could he get control of America's churches? So he ushered in this 501c3 tax ID number that every single Christian church in America has made this agreement. And basically, you're serving the government over God. You can't say that parents belong to the children instead of the state. You can't preach against pornography. They're limited in what they can speak. They should be teaching their congregation who to pray for and get behind Donald Trump. Because, there's only two people running for this presidency. And I'm going to play this other video right now. But I want the church to understand that they shouldn't have signed this 501c3 tax ID number. Now they're clammed up and they can't talk. I've been in my church for 3.5 years. They never prayed for Donald Trump once. At Bible study, I tried to pray for Donald Trump and they refused to. They said no political speech is allowed in here. So, this is very important. I want America to wake up as well as the church. And basically,
how fast a problem can multiply and spiral out of control. The problem is much like the metaphor of the boiling frog. Once the water boils, it's already too late. People fail to see these things. It's our nature. Just like the frog, people become complacent and they don't realize how bad things are getting until it's too late. Well, I know, of course, El Salvador is a lot smaller country. Setting aside the differences, there's a similarity with what is happening here in the United States. We also had many apparently isolated problems in the 60s and the 70s, and we failed to realize as a country the severity of them until it became a civil war. By the time we reacted, it was already too late. We were already boiled like the frog. And it took us 50 years.
I'm going to end this video and we could pick up on the third session. Wake up, America. We're being invaded. The Constitution is being thrown out the window. Donald Trump is being politically prosecuted for the first time ever in the presidency of the United States. The president is indicted 4 times, 91 felonies. Cases like he slept with a woman and paid her $150,000. And now they're back for more, saying he used campaign money. Donald Trump's a multimillionaire. He didn't need to use campaign money. Where's the proof of that? So I'm going to end this video, and we're going to pick up on the third video. Thank you for listening, everybody, and have a good day, night. Thank you.
Fight for your freedoms. Fight for your rights. The next president of the United States must not only win an election, he must have the vision, the will, and the courage to do whatever it takes. And above all, he must be able to identify the underlying forces that will conspire against him. These dark forces are already taking over your country. You may not see it yet, but it's already happening. You don't see it as clearly because people are designed to see linear changes, not exponential.